afternoon. Well, this is the Big Rig Bull, Texas truck accident lawyer Reshard Alexander, here on a Tuesday afternoon. Today, we are going to continue the parts and accessories necessary for safe operations for Texas truck accident law. This is part 4 that's going to take place today. This will be the last little snippet in that particular series. But today I've went to court in Missouri City, came back to the office, working on gathering some medical records for settlement demands, going through some more paperwork, putting together some motions. That's really it. You know, it's just another day in the office, working. That's what we do around here. You know, one of the things that I forgot to mention, I've been doing this vlog for a little while now. One of the things I forgot to mention is that one of the worst things you can do if you're injured is to wait on receiving treatment, because the insurance company isn't really going to care that you're hurting a year later if you can't show that you have consistently treated when it comes to your injuries. So my advice is always that if you are involved in a car accident or any type of personal injury matter, for that matter, you need to go seek immediate medical attention. Don't wait, don't put it off, because you know, 1 month turns into 3 months turns into 6, and then you know a year's gone by and you haven't received any type of medical treatment. Just got off the phone with the claim adjuster. So I work with attorneys, personal injury attorneys, who cuss and scream, you know, curse out the claims adjuster. And I mean, I think to myself, like, wow, that's what you're going to do for like the next 30 years. Well, that's what you've been doing for like the last 20 years, is cursing and screaming people out. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, for one, it's going to mess your blood pressure up. And two, if you know you're going to file a lawsuit anyways, why even let them get you angry like that? You ever had these? Zen Party. See them? Delicious. Believe it or not, I was a really skinny kid. But now, I'm getting older, my metabolism is slowing down a little bit. Or maybe it's just because I'm in Texas. I don't know. But food is good, and I like to eat. So, being a little chubby don't really bother me. I mean, when you've been a string bean all your life, being a little chubby doesn't bother you at all. You know, some lunch breaks you don't feel like drinking coffee, you know, because it's the middle of the day. And that's when you hit them with this, baby. Oh yes, coffee beverage. Boathouse Farms, Mocha Cappuccino. Can you see that? It's delicious. It's delicious. It's a nice day outside, but I'm glad I'm in here, in the AC. I'm trying to be out there in that heat. Not at all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can hear and see me. I'm using this board in this room because I think it gives us some really good lighting in here, and you can see the entire board. This is the Big Rig Bull, Texas truck accident lawyer Reshard Alexander, here again for episode 37. We're covering the 4th part and the final part of parts and accessories necessary for safe operations, section 393 for Texas truck accident law, commercial motor vehicle law. Today we're going to talk about rear end protection. We're going to talk about seat belts, emergency equipment, fire extinguishers, suspension systems, and steering systems. We're going to try to go through this very quickly, as we've already covered suspension systems and steering systems before in a previous vlog. Okay, so rear end protection can be found in section 393.86. Pretty much every commercial motor vehicle must be equipped with bumpers or devices that prevent underride wrecks with another vehicle. If you're not familiar with what an underride wreck is, if you're riding behind a 18-wheeler and you see a trailer that has that guard so that you can't drive directly into the tires, that is what they're talking about, rear end protection. Okay, now the exception are tractors, pole trailers, and drive-away or tow vehicles. Those are exempt from rear end protection. Okay, but I would consult the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards numbers 223 and 224 for certain trailers manufactured on or after January 26, 1998 regarding rear impact guards, or you could consult the Texas Administrative Rule 4.12b1. Moving right along, we're going to briefly talk about seat belts. Seat belts are covered under 393.93. This is common knowledge, it's common sense. Every commercial motor vehicle must be equipped with seats, seat belt assemblies, and seat belt anchorages throughout them. Common sense. Emergency equipment. It's covered in section 393.95. For the most part, commercial motor vehicles must carry a fire extinguisher, although an exception is made for drive-away or tow-away operations. Every commercial motor vehicle must have spare fuses, and they must have warning devices for stopped vehicles. To continue on with our discussion about the fire extinguishers must be securely mounted and readily accessible for usage. They must have a gauge or other indicator that shows whether the extinguisher is fully charged and a label showing its underwriter laboratories or UL rating. Okay? Now, when we're talking about fire extinguishers, there are certain standards that must be met. For the fire extinguisher standards, the commercial motor vehicle must meet one of the below standards for fire extinguishers, and that is that if there is one fire extinguisher in the commercial motor vehicle, it must have a UL rating of 5 BC or more, or if it has two, each with a UL rating of 4 BC or more, or one with a UL rating of 10 BC if the vehicle is transporting placardable quantities of hazardous material. Moving right along to suspension systems. Suspension systems are covered in 393.207. They should be structurally sound and in safe working order. The axles must be properly, well, I'm not going to say must be, but the axles should be properly aligned, and no positioning part can be cracked, broken, loose, or missing. If you remember when we were talking about the blitz that took place this year, suspension systems and steering systems were the primary target of inspectors this year. So that's just something, a little tidbit. Moving right along, continuing on suspension systems, the adjustable axles must have locking pins. Leaf springs cannot be cracked, broken, missing, or out of position. Coil springs and tension springs both also cannot be cracked or broken. And the air suspension system, if you have one, cannot leak. It must support the vehicle in a level position as well. The last thing we're going to address is steering systems, which are covered in 393.209. Steering systems must be in proper working order. The steering wheel must be secured. There can be no cracked or missing spokes. The wheel lash for the steering wheel requirements are covered in 393.209, as I said before. So you can just go to that if you have questions about the wheel lash. I'm not going to really go into that. The steering column must be securely fastened. There can be no worn or welded universal joints. There can be no loose steering gearbox. There can be no missing bolts. The loose pitman arm on a gear output shaft, that cannot exist. If you have questions about what a pitman arm is, or if you'd like to see one, a video on one, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration put a video up today on Facebook that demonstrates an inspector looking at a loose pitman arm and what can place you out of service for having one of these. Really interesting topic. You should check it out. The other thing is the steering systems, the power unit cannot have any loose, frayed, broken parts, slipping belts, leaks, or insufficient fluid in the reservoir. That concludes today's section for part 4, for parts and accessories for necessary operations of commercial motor vehicles. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you later. Big Rig Bull, and I'm out.